Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Hi, guys. What's up?
Wow, starting again, round 2. Hi.
Hi.
I am so happy today. The getting of the vitamin D and making you instantly happy is so real.
Yes, to be clear, I think this is in New York City too.
Yes.
This is April, like not even the 15th, and it is hot here in Toronto. And
It is
speaking to my
shorts weather.
colleagues,
It is tanning weather.
it's shorts weather.
Don't forget your sunscreen. No one wants to be burnt.
Not even
Maybe-
like in a white person way where you're
Yeah.
wearing shorts above 1 degree. Like,
Yeah.
actually, seriously,
This
I'm
is
wearing
hot.
shorts. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
actually for real hot.
I know. Canadians love to really overcompensate for the warm weather. Literally, it would be 1 degrees. They got their flip-flops up. But today is an appropriate day to be pulling out your summer wear.
Definitely, I think for our bodies especially, like the
Yeah.
patio. When they hit the patio, you know.
You know,
You
the
need to-
girlies are out.
Yeah, we're out
Summer's
today.
Summer's here. My legs weren't ready for short season today.
What does that mean?
Like I haven't shaved.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so that's why I opted for pants. But I was putting on this great T-shirt, which
Yeah.
I think I have found the perfect crop T-shirt. Anyone looking for a cotton crop T-shirt? Uniqlo has the best one.
Hey,
and
plug Uniqlo.
I was wearing this great T-shirt all day, and I was like, you know what? Probably not a good idea to wear because I know I'm gonna have sweat stains.
It's really
And
nice though.
Lo and behold, I am covered in sweat stains, but we'll just pretend it doesn't exist, and I won't raise my arms at this.
No, you look fine, definitely.
Thank you.
We're really happy. The season's really great.
Yeah.
We have lots of stuff to talk about.
Yes. Well, before we go in,
Yes.
for anyone tuning in for the first time listening to us Maiden, I'm Jazz.
And
that's
I'm Evie. Yeah.
We talk about current events, pop culture, what
Hey.
is happening in the world with our little take on it. So
Yes.
hopefully you can join us along for the ride. Today, I'm so sad because I've been begging Evie to watch Beef, but to
Sorry.
be honest, I will never hold this against Evie because she is a busy gal. She has 24-hour news that she needs to be scanning at all times. So I never have the expectation that she's able to
Sorry.
do things that I timely ask of her. But Beef, that is all I can think about. It's one of those shows that I want to rewatch it again, but you haven't seen any episode of it.
No, but I haven't seen any spoilers, which is
Okay.
really great because I was like, gonna
Honestly,
mute
I feel
it.
like there isn't even that big of a spoiler because
I think-
I went in
Yeah.
not knowing what was going to happen except for the road rage.
Okay, and even that, I watched it in the trailer,
Yeah.
so I didn't think it was
Exactly.
a spoiler. I had just seen amazing rave reviews about it, and the way they're written, it's not even. Yeah, I know there's lines that I've seen little clips of memes that are like very Asian perspective. Like I saw one that was like, "This Western therapy won't work on Eastern minds," stuff like that.
Yes. Oof, that
Which
was
I'm
good.
like, that's just funny. Like that's a quick kind of like Asian cuts, like that's our perspective cuts that I
Yeah.
need. But I think the thing that makes me so excited to eventually watch this when I have some calm is like, it's just regarded as a good TV show.
Yeah.
It has nothing really much to do. Like the two leads happen to be East Asian
Yeah.
actors, but it's not. It's more than that. It's like
Yeah.
the plot is wild, the rage is wild, and I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, I actually think you would love it way more than I would because yes, it's about road rage and that's just like a surface level thing, but the way that characters develop into how one action event leads into another
Yeah, like
and then it
butterfly effect.
triggers
Yeah.
something deeply rooted in your family and then your history and then like the way that's kind of interconnects together. And I think just the writing is super brilliant.
Yeah.
Like you said about, Western medicine doesn't work on Eastern minds. There's so many good one-liners. There is this one where they say it's so it's a scene between Danny, who's Stephen Yan, and Isaac, who is played by David Cho, who I actually want
Yes.
to talk about.
Yes.
And they're talking about how his brother is like dating this white girl, and then Danny, the character, goes, "Yeah, I only want to date Italians." Peninsula mentality, and he's saying that because Korea is a peninsula, and so is
Oh, I
Italy.
see,
But
yeah.
I didn't really understand what that meant. Like, is it that because we're both a peninsula, which I had to Google what it means, which means like you're just surrounded by water at all on sides. So like literally geographically, they're a peninsula. But then does that mean because you're surrounded by water, does that come with some type of like work ethic, or does it come with some kind of like cultural relevance? Like I don't really get it.
Yeah, I need to like get into it, but I definitely believe that people who grow up in let's just say peninsula is part of it, but like islands and stuff like that, there's a connectivity around that, you know what I mean? Like if you are like, so peninsula is definitely a thing, but like definitely with people who grow up on islands across like everywhere, there's a shared understanding of island living. And I think
Yeah.
like Peninsula is bigger, and I think it means like being closer to the water. There's so many different like neighborhoods, and
I mean, I could be just like totally really into it, so I don't know if that's what it actually
yeah,
means.
I don't know. I
but-
need to watch it, but
Yeah.
I mean, fuck yeah, peninsulas
Yeah,
and
sure.
islands and everything
Peninsula
like that.
mentality. Okay, so thing about David Cho that I found out, I have recognized him before because he's a famous artist, and I don't know if he's been in any acting.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
roles,
yeah, I know.
But I know him because I heard his like big thing is that like he is a painter.
Yeah.
And he painted the original headquarters of Facebook, and at the time Mark Zuckerberg offered him $60,000 to paint the entire office, but David Cho was so fucking smart. He asked for
The mill.
he asked for he asked for stocks in the company.
Oh,
so
that's
that he
so smart,
ended up was getting only like 0.1%, but that by the time Facebook went public, it was worth like $250 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
he's
and, like
smart.
he is so fucking smart. And so when you watch the show, I love they played this like really intense like intro music, and they have a painting at the start with like a really cool episode title.
Yeah.
And every single painting is such different varieties of work of art. So whether that's like watercolor, oil, or whatever, every
Cool.
single one of them is done by David Cho. So like,
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
I thought that he was cool, and he plays such a good character. He's like this shit cousin that always ropes you into like bad situations.
That's, like,
but he
so his role. Yeah,
and
that's so
but
him,
he has
yeah.
such a good heart at times too, and he does it so subtly. And I feel like in a lot of Asian cultures, like, you know, taking care of your cousins, and like I remember, okay, I don't know if you remember, but like I remember when we had Abby Albino on the podcast, she was
Yeah.
talking about, you know, in her Filipino culture, like her parents would just ask her, hey, like, can you get your cousin an interview at your job? Like there's always
Yep.
this mentality of like having to take care of each other. So like it's a strong tie that you can never cut because it's your family. And even though Danny, the character, can realize Isaac puts him in a bad situation, he can never say no. But there is, so there are some like awakenings that happen in that dynamic.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I think I love that you're pointing out this character as a side character, because obviously I think
Oh, he has such good one-liners.
yeah, I mean, both of them, like Ali Wong and Steven Yeun, I know that they're have rave reviews for like really embodying these characters, but it's so cool to see other people who are part of it. You know, some of the side characters make the main characters, and he is his own personality on its own, right?
Exactly.
Like, he's his own thing. Yeah, I'm really excited to watch it. So sorry that I haven't been able to for
It's
this
okay.
show, but we'll definitely do something earlier, maybe next week when I have
Yeah.
actually finished it to go through it. And I love
I think
love
you'll have a lot of
seeing
thoughts.
I love seeing overt like Asian rage. Like I think that's really
Yes,
important, and we don't ever
yes.
see it, but it's so real for
We like
us.
only
Like
see it in a negative stereotype and
Yeah.
like a nail salon or like no, but like I think rage was such a good theme
Yeah.
and a topic for this story to surround
Yeah.
because not only is it about like rage, but it's also about kind of like not code switching, but like in Ali Wong's character, she's like a very like kind
Proper,
proper, like she has her shit
gentle,
together,
yeah, yeah.
wife, but then she has this like deep things, and I think that also goes to say about like, and you know, Ali Wong talks about like how her parents never showed emotion and stuff like that. Maybe that kind of hindered the way she was able to not
Yep.
express her emotions, but that again, such a relevant theme in the way that we were growing up too,
Yep.
just like my specific
Upbringing.
family upbringing and stuff like that. So like, yeah, I just thought it wasn't okay. What I liked about it, it wasn't so like a stereotypical Asian caricature
Yeah.
of what we were like told to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, Ali Wong had a great statement where she was like, you know, when you just have a bunch of Asian people in a room, you just let them to be themselves and you get magic. And I feel like that's exactly what the show was.
Yeah, and I think there's so many things like that's why we have this podcast and other people that we speak to. Yeah, we have rage like that and anger and all that
everyone
stuff.
has rage, I guess, but like we have
Everyone has rage,
darker
but we
rage.
never get to show that rage on like a big screen.
Yeah.
It's like maybe my mom gets to hear it because again, like growing up for me, like it was like if we could be in a massive fight, me and my mom just like yelling,
Oh,
screaming.
right.
The minute
Phone
she picks
rings.
up the phone, she's like, "Hello," like it's like the most nothing's wrong here. Like there's nothing's wrong. But like we are just raging on each other,
Oh, yeah.
and then slams the phone down. We just get back
Back
at
to
it.
it.
So I like to see it out front more because obviously it's one of our things is to be like thoughtful, and I think you know, and not like get other people in our shit, but like sometimes you just need to rage. Like I don't care. Like, and I would love to see like a badass movie like that. So
Yeah.
I mean, show. So I can't wait to like actually watch it
Yeah.
and get into it.
Another thing, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm telling you all about the show.
It's
and
okay,
I hope
no,
you won't
no.
ruin your experience. But one thing that really resonated with, one of the many things that resonated with me is that there's a storyline where obviously Korean immigrants, they go to a Korean church.
Yeah.
And Danny, the main character, what's it? Steven Yeun. Steven Yeun he's like, yeah, like he met a girl in Korean church like a long time ago, so they go revisit. And there's this scene when he clearly hasn't been to church in a really long time, but he walks in, and it's like the worship portion of it.
Yeah.
And you went
Yeah,
to,
I know.
you
I
grew up
know
in churches,
exactly
right?
what. Yeah.
Yeah. So he goes in, and it's like. And it's like he's singing along, and it's like more of like a hip worship song, I guess. And there's like a band. There's like not lights, but like it's like a production.
Yeah.
And then he just sitting there. There's no dialogue except for the song. But like Steven Yeun, oh my gosh, like the way he's able to portray the emotions of how that feels. And like I've been in that I've been in shoes before where. You kind of have this like really strong guilt for like not going to church, not because maybe you have a strong connection with God, but it's just because like your parents literally will call you every single week to be like, don't forget to go to church. Like, did you go to church today? And it's just like a routine. You either have like a pre-planned lie of why you didn't go to church, or you say that you went and you think about what sermon that you pretend that you listen to. So like there's all this guilt, and then like I get that he kind of had a come to Jesus moment where he like feels this like resurrection about like feeling God's love and like all the bad decisions he made in his life. But I thought it opened up a can of worms about the Korean church community, and I think it might be relevant to other Asian
the Chinese
as
church is
well.
like that too. Yeah.
And I know a lot of like Filipino churches has gone through it as well, but it's just crazy because in one part of the show he says that Korean churches aren't about God, it's just a community where people can just come together. And it's true because like anyone knows who's an immigrant, you go to church, it's not just a Sunday thing, it's a whole week thing. Maybe on a Wednesday there's like a women's night, Thursday is the men's night, and then on Friday there's like a youth group, and then you also have maybe band practice. On a Sunday you come earlier before the service because you have to rehearse, and then all the women have to make the lunches. After the service is over, you stay behind for 2 hours because you have the lunch, but you also have to tear down because sometimes you don't have the property, so you're renting from another church, and then you have another rehearsal and you go home, so you're not home by like 8 p.m. and it's just like a whole ordeal.
It's a whole
in the community.
thing. Yeah.
And I get that for someone who just immigrated to a new country, you don't know anyone, you do find all the things that you need in that situation. But I just thought it was cool that they portrayed it, and it was like the most like accurate depiction about worship and evangelical like church scene that I thought it was really cool to see.
Yeah, no, like those don't get depicted a lot. I'm like in my particular situation, I am like a dropout of church, and I will never go back because I seriously don't like that community. I think it's really great. Like even my parents, my like relatives go, but it's not for me. And
I don't.
I'm happy for them. I'm like, that's sick. Like do your thing if you believe in it. It is a community, which I'm happy they have. But I know exactly what you're talking about. Whether you like it or you don't like it, it's such a specific moment for people who grew up like that you're like, damn, like I was there. I can be in that position, and I know what that feels like. Lots of guilt sometimes, lots of, I'm like.
It's not like guilt. It's like the fear of something's going to go wrong. And it's like the guilt. Yeah.
Yeah. And just like, I haven't been here. I need to like redo this thing and come back and start anew. But like, it's definitely community. Like I just remember people being there for like 8 hours. I was like, I could never do that. Like that is just so not who I am. But, a lot of people found like really good friends and communities there, especially if you're new. So I think that's really important. That's cool. I'm excited to see that scene in that show.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm excited for you to watch it. I have been loving seeing all the rave reviews, not just by Asians watching it, but just
everyone. Yeah. That's why I think it's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, please, you'll have to let me know after you watched it. And
no, I will
see
definitely.
what you think.
No, I'm definitely gonna watch it. And. Yeah, I just have to watch it. I hope they come up with more stuff like that.
One thing I didn't like was that Joseph Lee, who plays Ali Wong's husband, he's Korean, but he plays a Japanese character, which I thought was really interesting. And then one of the funny parts is like Ali Wong is trying to get her husband to like get worked up to like, approach this guy. And he was like, no, babe, like I think he didn't mean anything by it. And then the only thing that triggers him to go see him is that, well, he didn't like that you're Japanese. And then it was like a Korean, and because a Korean person was saying that he didn't like Japanese.
Oh.
So I feel like there was like a funny like Asian nuanced.
It's like the 3 East Asian countries, and we're gonna selectively just talk about the 3 because it's such a thing. Oh, there's so much. not everyone, but it's like known between all our cultures. There's
Yeah.
beef
Oh,
between
there's
everybody.
beef.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like it's just I find that funny and weird.
Off topic, can I tell you a really sad story?
Yes,
So
please.
I have been trying to get on a background acting role for
Hey,
Pachinko. Well, not
okay.
acting. I literally just want to
Like
be a
season
background
2?
actor. Yes, because they're filming in Toronto.
Where are
And,
they?
They're in like, I thought they were like in the beaches for some reason, but I found out that they were shooting in Brampton. But the reason why it's sad
Yeah.
because my friend Patty, shout out, because she texted me a screenshot of like this random person's Facebook post, like they're looking for someone Thursday and Friday, and I was like, oh my
Run.
god, yes! Literally sent her an email, my photos and all this stuff, and the girl was like, okay, you have to get your COVID testing today, all the way up in like North York, and then it's Thursday and Friday shooting days. But I'm leaving Friday, and the post didn't really say
Oh.
actually it has to be both Thursday and Friday, and I was like,
Maybe
hey.
you should just show up.
And I was like, hey, I'm not available for Friday, but it's Thursday. Okay, is that a problem?
They're
And she's
literally
like,
just like looking for people to show up.
They were like literally any like Asian woman from 20 to 60. So I
Oh.
guess they just need like random woman. But anyways, I was booked and then I had to cancel it because I'm not here on Friday.
Damn,
I
that
know, it's
sucks.
really sad. I was so close to seeing
The
Lee
debut
Min-ho.
was so close.
Imagine just
and
being
also,
in the
yeah, you being able to
presence.
see. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that would. And it's so funny because they're like, well, it's up in Brampton. People who don't drive, there is a shuttle at Kipling Station, and I just pictured all these like bunch of Asian women just like waiting for a bus to
Oh,
come pick
it's
them
so
up.
weird.
I thought it
Yeah.
would've been really funny.
No, like yeah, like when my friend used to, she was in Scott Pilgrim actually.
Oh, cool.
But when she was auditioning like for the role, like back then, I'm gonna say 10 years ago, it would be like all these Asian women in the room, and it'd be
Yeah.
like they all know each other. It'd be like,
Yeah.
hey,
Hey.
what's up? Who's gonna get this? Which one of us is gonna
Yeah,
get this? I
yeah.
see you at the next thing. It's so funny, but it's also fucking weird. But like, yeah, it was just funny because it was mostly for like a side role. But now
Yeah.
obviously, I hope things are changing.
Yeah,
That's really
I
cool
mean-
that they're here.
Guys, and maybe next opportunity for me.
Yeah, someone look out. If you guys have a plug, like hit up
yeah,
Jazz,
let
okay?
me be a background actor, and I'll be discovered that way.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna blow up. Yeah, no. So speaking of things this week, I was telling you I wanted to talk about this
Yeah,
a lot, even just a
tell
little
me.
bit. It is like a news item that we were working on, but like emotionally, just being like, I was so astounded covering stuff like this. So basically,
Right.
in Tennessee, you know, we heard about there's so many mass shootings in America. It's so hard to keep up. And then recently there was one out of school, and it was a Christian school. That state is super Republican and pro guns in that school, in that state, whatever. And they basically voted to expel 2 of the youngest black representatives there. Which is wild because it's like they were the only ones really pushing for change. And their thing is that they caused chaos in the House because they were speaking with protesters who were like students who were like, you know, let's have gun control, let's tighten gun laws. And it was incredible, like how many people showed up, how many kids showed up, how many like students and Gen Z, they really, really showed up, and they basically both got reinstated this week.
Wow.
Yeah, and,
okay.
like-
Oh my god, that gave me chills because I did remember reading that like 2 people got like fired or
Expelled,
whatever.
yeah,
and
yeah.
I didn't know what it meant, but wow.
Yeah, basically in this state house, like let's just say 75% of these members are Republican. They're like pro-gun, and these 2 are super loud, like young black men who are really speaking
Great.
up. And one of them is half Filipino too. And like basically they've been advocating. They were voted in by the people, and then they just tried to expel them, which is obviously
Why? Because they weren't going.
Because they
in
were
favor
speaking up-
of what they wanted.
because they were making too many waves with the people in the house, like with the students who are watching.
Can you believe in a political position you're actually making changes
And a
that's too
democracy
much?
of all things, right? Like, so like it was just so inspiring to see what they're doing, and they're really mobilizing. So I got to like talk to the students and what they're doing,
Oh
and
my
I'm like,
gosh,
you guys
tell
are,
me.
yeah.
What are the inside minds of these Gen Z? Like, how are they approaching these
They're-
situations?
They're really like they want to show up for this rally, and unfortunately, a news cycle is like it pops up and then it leaves.
Right.
But they're trying to build long-term advocacy. Like they know they're not going to change it in a year or 2 years or maybe 5 years even, but they want to build this
It's a
foundation.
marathon.
Yeah, so they're literally meeting with people who advocated for like no segregation against white and black students from the 60s and how they fought that, and they're meeting with the generation before to learn how they can do that
Wow.
now. And I just like,
They are smart.
yeah, and they're just really
They are working
inspiring.
smart
Like,
and hard.
yeah, they're like 20, 19, some are in high school. It's like so amazing to watch. And so that's like, and I always say this, and I'm not even trying to it's a self-diss because I'm a millennial, but I'm like, damn, these people are really doing shit. It's not every
Yeah.
Gen Z person. It's not all, but like, I don't even know what I was doing at that age. Like
No.
just being a fucking dumbass.
We
Like,
were
I don't
on
know.
MySpace and screaming at people on Facebook walls.
Yeah, and
That
like
was our action.
and trying to be like cool by not caring too much
Yeah.
about stuff,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
yeah.
so different. So like all that to say, like power to them. Like that was so cool. And
I love that.
like it's actually making so many waves. So I think that's really exciting and it's like really refreshing to see because it's like one good thing came out of this, like good thing in terms of like something more positive.
Yeah.
In terms of like all the shooting news and everything. So like super inspired. Really cool how they're like organizing for years to come and they're like okay to play the slow game, you know,
Wow.
like it's not immediate.
Realistic.
Yeah, and they're like meeting with people and again going through workshops of nonviolent like rallying and stuff. So it's very, very cool.
Okay, so what does it mean to have like a gun reform? Like what restrictions does that come in? Like what is like a realistic outcome that can come out of this?
Realistic,
Yeah,
it's
to-
hard, like especially in the southern states.
And does it obviously differ by state?
It does go by state. Obviously, there's bigger things like Biden for the nation will call for like assault, like weapons ban, whatever, which is like kind of guns where you can literally, like you could shoot, I don't know, dozens of rounds in like 1 second. Like that's what he's trying to.
Right.
But like the people here, like basically in the South, they vote on themselves, and a lot of them, you know, they love their guns and they don't want to take it away. And so right now the standing solution by the Republicans are saying like, okay, if we're scared of school shootings, if kids are scared to go to school, we're going to put a safety resource officer for like every kid in the school, which is basically like a security police officer in your school all the time. Someone suggested like arming teachers, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, and then also like in some other states, they're testing whiteboards that turn into
like a bulletproof like shield.
bulletproof like shelters. Like you know, like okay, in
Are
Canada,
we in Transformers?
it's crazy. Like so, like in Canada, let's get this straight. When we have drills at school, we have like the intruder drill where we just like don't you
I've
remember
never
that?
done it. No, I think it was like after my time.
Yeah, but like it's
But I
like-
know what
but
you
no one
mean.
really like uses it because it's like we don't like have guns super free
Yeah,
flowing. Like
yeah.
and I thank God, you know, like that we don't have that. But honestly, it's like crazy that I saw this whiteboard transform into like emergency shelter. So
That's
like
crazy.
the kids will hide in here, but then you can use it in the daytime where there's nothing like as a whiteboard. Like I was like, this fucking shit is insane.
Hey, you know, instead of investing in technology to make whiteboards into shelters, maybe just change the gun laws.
Yeah, I know. But it's there's so much like crazy stuff with it. But I was just like, you know, I just like when I see this happening, it seems so hopeless all the time. And I was
Yes.
like, oh, this was like a very interesting, different thing that we've seen. And it's like it's funny when they expelled them, they thought they really like silenced them, but then
Like the
everyone
other
showed
white
up and
Republicans?
they basically made those two like celebrities. Like now, like they're just like followed.
Stupid.
I know. I don't think it was a good move, honestly. Like in terms of their camp either. Like they just basically put a highlight on like these two people.
Yeah.
Who are the most
Gave them
outspoken
more
against them.
platform.
Exactly. So like it's kind of interesting to see what's going on. But again, it's like definitely led by younger people who are fighting every day.
When you were interviewing these Gen Z kids, like do you find that they were able to get the support, resources, and like collaboration from like older people that are in politics? Like was there more openness to work together?
I think like because I obviously manage like our work's social accounts, and in particular we put these voices up, like their voices up on TikTok to see if they can get as far reach if they can. And like there's a lot of support like from people who be like, I'm a boomer and I support you, blah blah blah. But it's like from all different states. I think for them they really have to count on themselves. And I think the only people they're going to people who fought before, so people who have already been in this historically militant situation where they actually use nonviolent ways to rally against stuff. So like that was just really cool. I was just like, oh man, like what moment would we have that we would be doing that? Like it's just so different. So I'm totally, you know me, like okay to take and watch younger people and see how to
Yeah.
be inspired by that. You know, I think that's
Yeah.
really cool.
Is Tennessee also the state that they got rid of the
Drag
drag
shows.
show?
Yeah.
Is Tennessee okay?
No. Tennessee, that same house that expelled them, banned drag shows. They're labeling them under like power to sex workers is not me, but they're basically labeling
Yeah.
them as sex workers. Sex work is like not legal in Tennessee, so drag shows therefore are not legal in Tennessee. And then we also did a piece where we spoke to some of the drag performers,
Yeah.
and they're like, it makes our jobs way more dangerous. Like
For no reason.
I know. And basically, across America, like drag shows are being bombarded with like these militant
crimes,
white
yeah.
supremacists,
Yeah.
whatever. And like, it's crazy because like these shows are for kids. And like, of course, like when we watch stuff like, okay, I don't even want to put RuPaul, but like if we go to like our gay village and we go and watch a show and we know it's like for adults and nighttime and stuff like that, of course there's elements of like sexiness. There's that on TV
Yeah.
shows and like that's fine. But when we have drag performers reading to kids, that's not what's happening. Like
No.
it's like teaching people how to be more inclusive, like talk about loving each other's differences and being who you want to be.
Embracing your individuality.
Yeah, and like it's like the constant thing is for that side, like it's basically like that's causing harm to children.
Yeah.
You're causing harm to children, like
It's
blah
like
blah blah.
it's like performance art, but I guess I'm just trying to correlate. I listened to podcasts where they talk to. Do you remember Sasha Velour?
Yes, yes.
So she came out with a book about
like a kid's
all-
book.
No, I think it's like a memoir kind of.
Oh, cool,
But
cool.
yes, I know she does. She does a lot of readings and stuff, and she was talking about how just like the awakening of like drag and stuff, and the whole thing about drag is like you're kind of like in on the joke, and like you kind of know
Yeah,
that
yeah.
it is a dramatized expression of womanhood. And obviously when you're in drag shows, there are elements that you want to accentuate like women's features and stuff, and like you all kind of all have fun. And then I don't know if I'm making like a too far reach of a connection, but you know how like even when Britney Spears, when she first came out, she was so sexualized, and even like interviewers would be like, don't you know that kids are watching this? And like obviously when
Yeah.
she's doing a concert, like making a music video, she's accentuating different parts of her body to like create that illusion or like whatever. But then when she's going to like the hospitals to like visit kids, or like when she's around different settings, it's not like she's going in her like bra and like underwear, and like like it's like different scenes for different things. And like I feel like
No, that's basically it. Like basically we know that if we want to go to like a sexy Mariah Carey drag show,
Yeah.
I know what I'm signing up for,
Yeah.
obviously. But
and
like
it happens at nighttime when the kids are in bed.
yeah, and like I'm, like it's it's no different than watching a show and there's a minor sex scene. Like I don't even understand what it's just crazy to put that all together. Like
Yeah.
these are fully
one equates another.
yeah, these are full performers, right? Like they are performers and they are artists, and like they obviously will go to the occasion that they need to be. Like it's like anyone else. So like
anyone working a profession.
yeah, exactly. It's a job. And so
Yeah.
like this is a job and this is an industry, and like they just can't stand it. It's sort of like that whole TikTok thing. Like it
Yeah.
was like, oh, the shit is getting out of hand
Yeah.
because they're so unaware and out of touch, like that they just need to end it because they're like,
Yeah.
what the hell is this? What the hell is going
Yeah.
on? So, power to all the drag performers out there.
Yes,
That's really
please.
important.
Yeah.
Do not give up.
Yes, please. They bring us so much joy, and
Yes.
we need more joy in our lives.
Yes.
On the gun note, though, I was in New York recently, and every single subway station had 2 cops.
Yeah, that's a new thing. Yeah.
I have never felt so safe being on the public transit, and I heard that they did choose the police officers working depending on what area has that kind of demographic. And first, I would like to know how New York funded this. Like, where did all these cops come from? They have so many subway stations.
They have
Every
so many
single one of
cops,
them had 2. And I mean, I am terrified of going on the public transit these days. Like, there's
Oh
at
my
least
God, yeah.
someone who's unwell on any streetcar or subway that we're on, and people are getting stabbed, like literally, and just dying. And
Yeah.
like we have not seen a single thing of improved security or protection. Like
Yeah,
what is
like
happening?
I think many people in New York are like will basically like they don't think the cops can help them, and I think as a traveler, like seeing that and also not being from there,
Of
like
course.
yeah, like they really, even if it was like they really don't believe that. I think their latest thing is they're gonna bring robot dogs, which is really fucking scary because like I don't
To
even
do
know
what?
like police robot dogs. Like that sometimes you see those websites and videos of like this is the latest robot that's gonna help blah blah blah. They have like these dogs that can run like 200
and
miles
like
per
bite
hour.
someone. How
Like
how
stop
do they know
them,
who
take
to
them
attack?
down. This is a thing. Like this shit is fucking scary. So actually, like in New York, like the New Yorkers that are like basically like they're pretty terrified. They're like, what the fuck is going on here? And yeah, right now in Toronto, we have this crazy situation. I don't even know if it's
Yeah, are you keeping
unprecedented. I actually have no idea if this is more or less. Like it depends. Like I feel like the TTC is just like outwardly just saying this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. I'm not gonna say that it is happening more or less. I don't actually know. I need to look at the numbers because whatever. But basically, everyone is like on they're freaked the fuck out to take TTC these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's like every day something's happening. Every day something's happening. In Toronto, they tried to fund more cops that really didn't do anything. Like the number of crimes were the same, and like it's like I think a lot of advocates are saying like you are not handling the mental health issue very well. You're not funding these things. You've actually cut funding to these things, and obviously homelessness. Like you're living in a city,
Yeah.
it's unaffordable. I can only imagine like people get
Desperate
laid
needs,
off,
yeah.
miss one paycheck, miss two paychecks, they're on the street, right? Like you can't pay rent, and then what does that do your mental? I don't know, and there's no spaces in the shelter, so it's like such a roundabout
It's a
thing.
rolling, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like every major city is like that. Like there's major cities that are like we just need more cops, and then people will be like, no, it's not. It's like you need to fund this, you need to fund that, but like it's such a reform. You got to like change it from the bottom up. So like. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Do you feel like now that you haven't been working with the like Canadian politics, like are you still keeping tabs in Toronto?
It's hard.
Because I guess my question, I don't know if you know, is like I know we have like a election coming up, right?
Yeah.
Have you been seeing like the Chloe Brown?
Yes, I know
stuff?
that she is a candidate, and
Yeah.
she actually placed third in the last one, like
Yeah.
the one where before
Yes,
Tory was
I
kicked.
remember.
I think what I've seen from a lot of people is a lot of excitement around her, and she is from here. You know, like a lot of the people that are running at this moment are very like I swear they have like a place in Florida and in Muskoka.
They're
and
not
like,
a true. They haven't.
like they're not
felt
talking
it.
to people.
Yeah.
Maybe they're talking to people in like Rosedale, which is like a wealthier
GTA,
area,
yeah.
or like I don't know Forest Hill or something like
Yeah.
that. But like you're talking about the people that need to use, like it's crazy. Like every time I look on public transit, the population here is super diverse. But if you go to those neighborhoods, obviously there have more white and wealthier people. On public transit, people that use it are so many like women of color. I want to say like I always see that, and it's their only mode of transport.
Yeah.
Like it's actually pretty crazy, and
And like at more like dangerous times, I want to say like the
Yeah.
6 a.m. or like really late
like
at night.
we have so many of these populations who work overnight shifts or night shifts, and like that's the only job they can get. A lot of them are new Canadians as well, and so like for someone who doesn't understand, even like hasn't ridden the TTC enough to even understand that, that's already one aspect. Like these people do not know that, right? Like so they can ride the TTC one day for a photo op, but we need someone like I would like
Yeah.
someone who actually experiences like some experience
Yeah.
like that, right? Like that's just
if you don't know what like stop to get off to be closest to the stairwell, then
Yes.
you're not.
No, then you don't
you don't
know.
get it. You don't
Then
have any
you don't
say
know.
in the TTC matter.
exactly. And if you don't have any say in the public transit, which also equals safety, which also
Yeah.
equals jobs because you have to get to your spot, like then I don't know, a lot of these candidates don't have that. So like
Yeah.
you're just like, damn, where did you come from? Like
I
this
know.
is crazy.
I did have like an awakening that like I think when John Tory got like he stepped down because of like all that expose came out about him
Yeah.
like having that relationship. It made me it really broke the third wall of like thinking politicians have to be this specific picture like
No, yeah,
someone
not at all,
older
yeah.
like experience whatever, and then
No.
I was like watching Chloe Brown's one of her like
Speeches,
platform
yeah, yeah,
speeches
yeah.
and stuff, and I was like, you know what,
No, it doesn't have to be
it doesn't
that.
mean she's gonna have to like make every single decision. She is still gonna have people that she respects and trusts around
either
her to
vote
like
on stuff,
support
yeah.
it. And those people are gonna come with a lot of experience. Like we need someone refreshing like her who is gonna use more scrappy resources or like action things and not just be a bystander. And so I'm like so for like younger people coming into the office.
Yeah.
And I think totally back then I was like like. I want someone who's like more like experienced and like distinguished and like older, but like no, fuck that. Like we have been waiting around for these old people to like get shit done, and
Yeah.
they have not.
Literally, and if you just need an example, like, and this also has to do with Ontario, but like the Eglinton line was proposed like I want to say 20 years
Dude,
ago.
that has been
it's just
in construction.
yeah. I think it's like I saw one that looked a little bit done just like yesterday. I was like, holy shit! Like basically, I was a baby and I had no idea what was going on, and this was already fucking proposed. Like that's crazy.
my
Like
God.
should not take that long. Yeah, and I agree. I think a lot of young people I'm speaking to in Toronto, they're really advocating behind Chloe because, we are the largest population right now. Millennials make up and Gen Z make up a huge voting pot. I want to say the highest one this
I
year.
know.
Like,
Guys,
and
let's
so
go vote. It's really easy and fun. I
It's
wouldn't
so
say
fun.
I wouldn't say fun. That might be stretching it, but it's an easy task.
it also like most places actually don't have lines. So please and
Yeah.
also everyone who's like, yeah, I want to take off work, and it's so nice these days. Like,
Yeah.
you actually legally entitled for 3 hours off work to make it to this voting poll. So if you're gonna take a long 3-hour lunch, it is a legal requirement for your employer to let you go.
And
Yes.
let's say you get it done in the first hour, go sit in a patio.
I
Have
know.
a drink.
Take that 3
Enjoy
hours.
yourself.
Yeah, I
You
don't
made it-
know.
You made a choice for yourself for a better future. You deserve it.
Exactly. I love that we added this
Yeah.
on because I'm like, this is happening so soon.
Yeah, because
actually.
isn't it? Yeah, when is the election?
I need to go look.
Okay.
I've been in America's thing,
America?
but when this is, like, we're gonna talk about it, and it's very soon. I
Yeah.
think it's super soon. So
Yeah, I think we should bring back vote or die
Yeah.
t-shirts. And oh my god, speaking of vote or die, this has just been something in the zeitgeist that I've never used the word zeitgeist in a sentence. I don't even know if I said that
Why?
right. But anyways, I have been thinking about Paris Hilton a lot. This is a very weird segue.
the segue.
Because I listened to a podcast that read her memoir, so I got like a debrief
Yeah.
about the whole situation. I think everyone owes Paris Hilton an apology. Like, do you know to the extent of her story?
Is it the one that the history of abuse, like, against her?
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
so not only obviously was born into like a really
Hilton yeah.
family. When she was younger, she just had always so much of a personality, and like she always wanted to like rebel against authority, which is totally fine. I feel like a lot of kids go through that, but then her parents just like truly didn't know what to do with her, so they kept sending her to these like behavioral camps, which was basically child abuse,
yeah.
and to the point that like at one time she would just keep running away. And I get that Paris Hilton, like, you know, she wasn't the most well-behaved child to these like parents who didn't know how to control her. Middle of the night at like 3 a.m. had these two men steal her out of bed and like dragged her, and she could see her parents like peeking their head up from the door. So like just imagine the trauma you have by being kidnapped by two middle-aged men who are so sweaty at like 11 years, I don't know, 14
Disgusting,
years
yeah,
old.
disgusting.
And then there's that, and obviously like the whole sex tape and like how she wasn't able to have her rights about it, and like just so many unfortunate things has happened to her and over again when
Yeah.
her like privacy was violated. And then I don't blame her that she had to put this like fake facade, because when you're years of your adolescent life, your ownership and responsibility and, you know, power was stripped away.
Yeah.
All she wanted to do when she finally had that freedom was to cover her life with things that were pretty. She didn't want to wear the same things
Yeah.
twice. Like, now I get it. And like, I guess I'm just bringing this up because she's so culturally relevant in my life that I am so happy that she's finally able
Like, she
to
exposed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she is finally able to live her best fucking life, and I think we justice for parents.
That's like Britney, like,
Yeah.
with the whole father
Yeah.
conservatorship. Like, I just, it's so fucked up. Like,
I just feel like, Brittany, yeah, you keep making those TikTok videos. I am not asking anything of you. You have created so much content for us to live up for
Since
the rest
you
of
were
our
a
life.
baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't need anything from you. But if you do ever want to do a comeback tour, I will be there. But you don't need to lift a finger. You just live your life.
Yeah, I don't care if you don't do anything. Like, and it, like, obviously everyone's like, where's Rihanna's new album?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just happy for her to just live
Keep
her life.
making Fenty
She's
stuff,
a billionaire.
man.
I don't
okay.
even give a shit. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, you're rich on your on the way you want to be rich.
Yeah.
And the way you
Who
want
are
to live.
we?
Yeah, so we all want the album. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's sick, but like, if that's you, that's
Her greatest
you,
hits
you know?
were also enough. I think I'll be okay.
Yeah, that
think.
Super Bowl was like
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I don't know. I was a little bit disappointed, but it happened too long ago. I won't bring it back. What else is in your culture these days?
What am I doing these days? What am I watching these days? So, other than Beef, I'm asking you first because I'm still on, like, I'm literally still trying to finish like 18 seasons of Criminal Minds, so I'm
Oh,
still on it.
God.
Are you watching anything new yourself?
Actually, on your Criminal Mind tip, I've been watching Mindhunter again.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, it's really dark, but yeah, that one's pretty good, but not something I'm watching. I recently read / listened to as an audiobook a book called I Want to Die, But I Also Want to Eat Tteokbokki.
Oh my
Have
god.
you heard of it?
No, I haven't.
I think you'll
Sounds
like it.
Great
It's super
title.
short. It was only 3 hours long, so it's a really small book, but it's basically written by obviously the author writes her like therapy sessions almost.
Yeah.
It was really cool
Oh,
because
so she's like writing what happened in her
in
own therapy. Oh,
and then like
interesting.
her psychosis and their thought processes, and she's like in her like 20s going through her jobs and stuff, and it does delve into, and she's Korean, it delves into like her relationship with her family and like the expectations that she has, but she also does suffer from like a lot of anxiety and like depression. And someone who doesn't have experienced that much of that, it was really interesting and eye-opening to see someone else's thought processes of a situation that maybe I may interpret differently. So I feel like that helped me kind of open up the world to see a little bit differently and like have more empathy in situations. But it was really short, but I thought it was like really refreshing, and it was really cool because she's like, I wrote this. This is the most vulnerable I've ever been, but
Yeah,
I had
that's
no
so
idea
much.
that it would get translated into like 16 different languages. It's a
Oh.
really short read. I think you would like it. Yeah, it was really cool just seeing the thought processes and how it gets explained, and it made me have more empathy in certain situations and like approach situations in a different way.
No, that's awesome. I think that's super vulnerable. Like, I don't know if I'd be willing to share all my
Yeah.
therapy sessions.
Yeah, it's like really raw.
Yeah, and I think that's cool that she was able to do that. Like, definitely, I'm way too figuring myself out. Like, I'm sure she is too, but like to do that, but like,
Oh my
That's
god,
awesome.
the coolest part is the therapist also writes her point of view after
that's
it's all
cool.
done. 'Cause
Like, she has notes on it. Yeah, yeah,
she
yeah,
read
yeah.
the manuscript, so I thought that was really cool because you can kind of see from like both sides of the story. On the reading list, another thing that I recently read that it's just like resonated with me is called True Biz.
True biz.
It's about the deaf community and the erasure of deaf community in
Okay.
like North America, and I feel like everywhere. Because like if you really think about it, like I don't know a single deaf person in my community.
yeah, I don't, I, yeah, I don't think I know
Yeah.
someone like immediate. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
and the book is about this girl who was born into a family. She's the only deaf person, I think, but she had a cochlear implant when she was younger, and then her mom just wanted her to be like quote unquote normal, so she kept forcing her to go to like normal schools, but she was like really getting behind and like wasn't able to like be accepted or whatever. So then she ends up going to a deaf school, and then she has to learn how to sign language and
Yeah.
all this stuff. And then it's really cool because the book you'll read like the nonfiction part, but then there's also like resources and history lessons
Yeah.
of deaf
Community.
deaf community.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just kind of opened my eyes about like the way we think about language and like how we communicate. And like really heartbreaking part was like there was, especially for deaf women who are giving birth,
yeah.
it's so hard to communicate what's happening. I'm sure for
Oh,
any
I'm
medical
sure,
situations, like they're
yeah.
talking about like the mortality
Like, it's
rate
not
or-
accessible.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And like having interpreters available
Yes.
in these situations. And yeah, how there's like Black ASL and
Yes, yeah.
Martha's Vineyard ASL. Like there's all these like really rich, beautiful histories. And I guess obviously because I've been like researching and thinking about it, now I'm on the ASL talk. So there's this one guy that I follow, and he teaches just like bad words in ASL.
Oh,
So I
that's
know
cool.
quite a few words how to say in ASL now, but I think I want to actually fully learn it. I think it's really cool. I don't want it to be like a thing that I'm just like hopping on a bandwagon, but I do think just like
No,
for
I think
someone
that's
who
cool
loves
to know.
talking
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I want to be able to communicate.
No, I think that's so important. Like, accessibility. This whole, like, I'll say the world in general is not accessible to people that have
Yeah.
disabilities. It is so inaccessible. Like, honestly, whether you're just like, it's not just about like a ramp, which a lot of places don't even have
Exactly.
a ramp. It's like communication. It's about like my one thing that I witnessed this like when I was going on a plane, which I was like, this is so fucked, is like someone who is in need of a wheelchair, like, because the plane is built so it's so narrow, the alleyways, whatever, the airport, they bring you like the normal standard size wheelchair, and then you have to move to this tiny chair.
Yeah.
And it's just like I saw one that was so awful that basically like one of the people that help like push these chairs, like they had to like carry them onto the seat. And like, can you imagine that feeling that you're just like
You're
why aren't we making planes accessible? Of course it's an expense thing, of course there's all this stuff, but like these people, like obviously like the people that own these planes or make these planes, like they should have money to like try to think about that, right? Like it's just so
We're building bulletproof whiteboards. I think we can make a better
Exactly.
wheelchair
We're
that
going
is more
to-
accessible to be on planes.
like billionaires are going to space. Like, let's just
Yeah.
make like even planes or even just every day. I was just like, damn, this is. Can you imagine how demoralizing it feels?
Exactly.
Like to be like that's your only way on to like a plane. Let's just
Yeah.
say or whatever. It's just so it's so awful. And
It's
so
already
like,
so much of like anxiety, I'm sure.
yeah, can you imagine?
To travel
Yeah.
in those circumstances.
Yeah.
And I also don't like that they're like the last one that they have to get off the plane because they have to sit there until they're able to get the help they need.
I know.
Just
And
give them the first row. Like it should just be dedicated.
and also, yeah, and it should be like make it easy so they can maybe even just like assist themselves into like a chair or
point.
whatever. Like it's just so, yeah, it's just so crazy. So I'm actually happy you're learning that. I think
Yeah.
it's cool. Even just starting with swear words, that's fine. Like that's how we learn
That's
every
how
language.
we learn any language.
Honestly,
right?
and that's honestly how we bond over new languages.
Exactly.
But
Okay, what's
no,
on
that's-
your culture?
That's super cool. Well, one thing I was thinking about actually my partner was like talking to me about this because I was trying to like really understand why I was watching such like dark shit to feel comfort. It's like a sense of
Yeah.
control, like definitely because at the end of every episode they solve it, right? So like there's
Not
a
always.
sense
There's a two-parter sometimes.
sometimes there's a two-parter, but like it always makes me feel like a sense of wow, this is the worst shit that could ever happen, but it gets wrapped up, which
That's
is not
very
real life, which is
interesting.
not real life, obviously. And like my sense of control, my sense of understanding, and that calmness comes at like the last final 10 minutes. I'm like, oh my god,
Mm-hmm.
we are like this has been wrapped up like a neat present, which
Mm-hmm.
isn't life. So like something I think that's why I'm really into watching that stuff, even if it's like late at night and it's like kind of really scary or whatever. But yeah, it was just funny because he was like, I think that's how you feel like control or like how you
That's
feel
really
a sense
interesting.
of like, because every day it's
right
like,
in the world.
yeah, like the thing is like among journalists and media, like journalists will always say like they are gonna go and work and work and work until they tire themselves out. It's like a very unforgiving industry where there's so many layoffs, so many. Like if you compare yourself to marketing pay, it's you don't even come close. But like everyone is a lot of people are there for justice. You're like, I want to fight this till the end. I want to make change. I want to platform people that matter. I want to hold the powerful accountable. But you burn the fuck out because like there's no conclusion. Sometimes you just have to like push in. You can hear the worst stuff, and so like this little package of like, oh my god, this is so bad, and there's a resolution. Like I think that's why for me that's what I've been watching. It's just like this sense of calm. And
In the chaos.
in the
of
chaos
the
and like
yeah.
the feeling like why isn't this changing or why isn't this being fixed or why isn't this whatever, like that's a sense of calm that I think I get from something like that. But no, I've been meaning to watch like a lot of other stuff too. So Beef is on my list. I've been watching like stupid Food Network shows, which is always a great thing.
Where do you watch Food Network shows? What platform?
So I've already like watched all the food stuff that's on Netflix available.
Oh, right,
basically.
right.
But we actually this month bought something because for the Raptors and Jays, like we bought. So like I'm actually watching this like weird, like Gordon Ramsay news show where it's like 3 levels and like it's so weird. Like
Cool.
you need to just like
Okay.
And I can watch that like stuff because food is always a thing.
Yeah.
And then also that I watch like mukbangs all the time.
Yeah.
Which
No,
is
I really want to watch Triple D, and it's only available
Triple
in
D, our
Amazon
boy.
Prime.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Amazon Prime. I have a bone to pick with you. You have 5 different subscription under the one house. It does not make any sense.
I
They have
know.
Amazon Prime. They have Stars. They have this other thing, and then there's this new thing only available in the U.S. called Freevee. That there's a show called Jury Duty on that I really want to watch. So Amazon, get your shit together. Let's just combine it into one. I do not want to have to pay additional $6.99 a month to watch another show that's clearly available on Prime.
I know. It's just figure it out. Make
Yeah.
it easy for everybody.
Yeah.
Like you would want someone to be a customer to be happy.
Oh, I know. I'm really sad because I also canceled my Apple Plus, and I really want to watch Shrinking with
I saw,
Jason
yes.
Segel. And I also do want to watch the 3rd season of Ted Lasso. So if anyone wants to give me their Apple ID, maybe I'll trade you a Disney Plus.
I am supposed to try to start watching Ted Lasso, but
You have never seen it first? I don't think you'll like it. I
I
think you'll
watched
find it
it.
corny. Oh, did you?
I did find it a bit corny to be
Yeah,
honest.
it is.
But it was like just good enough that I could like background listen to it. I'm like,
Right,
oh,
right.
something cute, blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah, whatever.
I do find that guy really hot. The
Who,
guy who's always
Sam?
angry.
Oh,
No.
oh, that guy. Yeah.
He's definitely up my alley. But I did not like Sam's storyline with
the owner.
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought it got a little lame in season 2, so I didn't want to watch season 3.
It's like one of those that's like we're all like there's a little conflict, but we're
Yeah.
all in this together.
Yeah.
Like it's like so yeah. That's why you're probably like you won't like this. I thought it was fine.
yeah,
like
it's,
it
it's
was
a fluffy,
good.
it's a fluffy show.
Yeah, super
Um,
fluffy.
Yeah, I mean, oh my gosh. Well, I think we were talking about it last time, but I'm really excited for Past Lives. to come out. You watched
Yes,
the trailer.
I really want to watch that.
That and Joyride.
I wanna watch
Ashley Park is
Joyride
really
very well,
having
like a lot
good-
too.
Ashley Park is also in Beef. She's the Ashley Park. She was in Emily in Paris. I don't know if you watched.
Oh,
that.
her,
Yeah.
her,
She's
yeah,
really
yeah.
having a moment. Happy for her. I haven't stopped thinking about Past Lives trailer ever since I watched it, so I'm really excited. I think
I'm
it's
so
coming out in
excited.
July.
Oh my God. Why
Yeah.
would you put it out so early? Like, we need
I
to know. We need to watch
We are
this.
so blessed for all this new content that's coming out featuring us, and I hope this is just a start.
And I hope you get your background role
Oh
eventually
yeah,
front
Pachinko,
role.
Pachinko will be coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like
Okay, that show, I had like
You haven't
huge
watched-
revelations about it. No,
yeah, you watched
it
it.
was like so emotional to me, that show.
Yeah. I feel like they're okay. The reason why I think maybe Pachinko is still in the stars for me because the book is so thick. There's no way they're gonna wrap it up in second season. So maybe there's a third season, and maybe
I'm
I'll be in
down.
the third season.
I'm so down.
If I miss my boat in the second season.
Yeah, and I also like would like more shows like The Bear.
Yeah.
Like, if we
the
have
Bear is
more-
coming out, the third season.
Third season.
The
but-
second season. Sorry.
Sorry, yeah, second season, and
Yeah.
I would love more. Like, I think it's already tried and true. I think anyone could have done this. Like, not anyone. The Bear's really good writing and stuff like that. I'm just saying, let's do some dramas in the kitchen. Like, I was talking.
But people who work in the food industry.
Yeah, they said they can't
hate
watch it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They said it's too triggering.
Oh, I thought they said it wasn't accurate, and it's kind of like a cosplay of what's happening.
The chefs I spoke to were like, I can't watch it because it's so real. And it's like gives them like makes their heart
PTSD?
palpitate. They're like, oh my god,
Yeah.
there's so many orders today, like
Yeah.
whatever. And I'm like, damn, I don't. You know, we worked in retail,
Yeah.
which is already a hell on
Why
its
is
own.
there a show about retail? We go through a lot of traumatic moments in retail. Especially the
We need to like we can be the ones
you
to
can write
cast
the,
these people.
You can write
Yeah.
the screenplay.
We are casting the customers because
Yeah.
I know exactly what these fucking customers would say.
Yeah,
honestly.
no, I was actually thinking about my tenure at this retail store that I work at, and even though it's been 10 plus years, I often ponder why am I still there? And genuinely, yes, it might be like, oh my god, like you're so lame for being there, but the amount of people that I meet in one shift and like things I learn. And like it's
No,
like
it's
social experiment.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it is. It
the,
is.
the customers that come through and like who engages with what and like their personalities and the people that I get to work with and like the dynamics. Like, yes, I don't know why I imposed emotional distress on me willingly, but I think there's so much value in being in that situation.
No, for sure. Like you learn
You
so
learn a
much
lot.
about people and even your coworkers. Like I remember when I used to like switch on my retail hat and then right after like I was done with that one customer, I'd be like, okay, here's my Evie
Yeah,
hat. I'm
yeah.
back to normal. And then it's like someone comes out and I'm like, okay, retail hat. And I'm just like, wow.
Oh my
You
God.
are really like, you have to fight through the entire thing.
Yeah.
You're giving like your whole existence to like
Yes.
two sides of
You
yourself. It's so
are
insane.
Just breathing down the neck of the return policy, and then oh, never mind, we make an exception just
Not
for
the
you.
return policy.
Okay, I actually didn't want to tell you this because I didn't want to trigger you, but remember that man that used to stalk you?
Oh my God, guys. Yes, that's a thing.
I saw him yesterday, and I thought of
Yeah.
you. He still looks.
He still
exactly
walks
the
around on
same.
floor. I mean, he still walks around a certain street. Yes.
Yeah, guys. So there's this man who has. He's very eclectic. Definitely not well. He wears these like thigh-high leather boots,
Which
and
is cool,
cool.
but he is
Oh,
not
he
cool.
is not
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
He's like a really older man. Like I don't know what's going on with him, but he used to come into our store, and Evie would literally have to run and hide in the back room because he would just harass
Like
the shit out of her.
There was an alert like among our team that'd be
Yeah.
like, tell Evie to run to the back.
Yeah,
tell Evie
he
to run
was
to the back.
obsessed with her. Yeah.
No, this is what I mean. Like when you see all these people, you're like, this is crazy that I'm in this one building and this is happening.
Yeah.
And then 3 seconds later, it's like, oh shit, I gotta go like sell some more. You
Yeah.
know, like it's so crazy.
One more pair of jeans.
Yeah, just like I can make my quota.
Yeah.
Like, but
Yeah.
I'm proud of you
times.
for that.
Thank
Like,
you.
You are on the front lines. Seriously.
Wow,
Salute to
don't
you.
call me
yeah.
a frontline worker. But on that note, I cannot wait to hear your recap about Beef after you take your time.
We'll
to watch
talk, yeah, we'll
it,
talk.
and we'll follow up.
It's not a 0.5 speed watch.
No. Even if anything, slow it down. There's so many
Oh.
good gems. No, don't
Okay,
do that.
amazing.
Okay, well, thanks for listening, guys. Let us know what we should be watching.
And we'll be back. Bye.
Bye.